Hi friends, this is Manish Pandey. Welcome back to UiPath Forms tutorial series. In this video, we are going to explore an exciting topic in UiPath Forms. I will show you how to execute JavaScript code directly within UiPath Forms. To perform this, we will use run form script activity. For the demonstration, I will be using few scenarios where pop-up alert will be showing to users with some content using JavaScript in UiPath Forms. Other examples I will take where welcome messages generated in the pop-up based on the name entered in the text field in UiPath. And finally, third example we will take two inputs, quantity and price from the user, and UiPath form will display total calculated amount in pop-up alert. By the end of this video, you will know how to use run form script activity and execute JavaScript code in UiPath form. So let's get started. Let me delete all these activities so that we can start fresh. Let me go to project and go to this folder and delete all these. Refresh it. Now this is empty. So first scenario where I will show you one alert in the UiPath form using run form script activity. Run form script activity is used to execute JavaScript code while displaying the form. Let's create one new form. This one will be taking for welcome users. Create it. Let's take level header, set it header tiny, say here welcome user. Save it. Let's take here one text field. Save. This is just a simple form I have taken. Now go to main. Here we will take show form activity because we can use that run form script activity only while displaying the form. So first we have to display this form. So let's display this form and we'll keep this continue, and then we will use run form script. So without any trigger, we are going to use this run form script. And this is very simple. You just need to select a form where you want to execute that JavaScript. So I want to show this form welcome user. Now this is source where you need to enter the JavaScript code to execute. So first, here it takes as a string, but we need to type the JavaScript code only. But that should be in the double quotes. So let's put the JavaScript here between the double quote. So I want to show a alert only. Let's say once the form will be displayed to user, one pop-up will display to user as a welcome message. So I can take here, I can type JavaScript code for alert. I'll write here alert open close bracket, and then we need to type single quotes here. Then we'll say here this is JavaScript alert generated using run form script activity. That's it. Click save. And now let's run this. Okay, so this is the first scenario, first example you have seen. So once form is launched here, you will see one pop-up which says that this is JavaScript alert generated using run form script activity. Click OK, and whatever you want to do, you can perform your actions here. Okay, now this is closed. Now we'll just take a step further. Instead of just showing a hard-coded message, now we'll be taking input from user. Here you saw that I created this welcome user. Now let's edit this text field. Say here this is user name. or you can say just a name. Enter your name like that. Field key, I can say this is name. Now click save. Now once I will click on submit, I want that pop alert saying like welcome or hello, and then whatever name you will enter this form, hello, that person name, and then welcome back to UiPath Forms and some other details like that. So once I'll click on submit, I want to show that alert. So for that, I need to click on create trigger for this one, or you can directly create a separate sequence and then use form event trigger and select that event, select that form that way. Or you can directly click on create trigger. It will do all these things. It will create a separate workflow, and then it will automatically add that trigger form event trigger there and select that event as well and form. So I'll go with this simple way by clicking on create trigger, and this is for submit trigger. Create it. But before that, make sure this submit trigger, this submit button is set to event. Otherwise, it will just work as a submit button. So I will say submit, save it, submit trigger, welcome user selected this form, and then this submit button clicked. Once user enters here their name, I want to get that name and then run the script and show this to users. Let's cut it for now, and then here we need to use run local trigger because now we are going to use triggers here. Now go to submit trigger. Here let's take here get form values. Now using get form values, we will select that form and we will take that input, that value which user will enter in the name field in the form, will store here in a variable called name variable. Save it, and after that we will take a run form script. Now we'll just modify this one. We'll keep these alert here, and in between the single quotes now I will write here say hello, and then whatever username, that name will display here dynamically. So you will understand here how to dynamically take the value from the form and then show in the JavaScript code. And then in between I will say double quotes two times, double quotes, and then I will take plus plus here and then put here that variable. So now this name. So it will say hello, and let's say if I enter hello, if I enter in the that field Manish Pandey, so it will say hello Manish Pandey, and then after that, so after double quotes, so only to show variables we need to pass this way. Now after that I want to say hello Manish Pandey, welcome back to UiPath form tutorial series, right? Okay, let's save it. And we'll do one thing. We will create here one separate sequence that is for close welcome user form. Okay, this is going to trigger. Now let's create it. Now instead of going to that form and creating a trigger, what I can do, I can take this activity form event trigger activity, I can paste here and then select that form, and the event will be now form closed. So once form is closed, I want to stop the trigger, so I can say stop trigger, and I can also take close form activity which will close that. But this stop local trigger is enough to close the form as well and stop this execution as well. Okay, now let me run that so that I can show you how this is going to get the form values from the form and then show you here in the JavaScript. Let's run this. Okay, now here I will enter name. I'll say Manish Pandey. Once I click on submit, okay, so it seems that trigger is not working because let me close that first. So close trigger worked fine, but this one is not working because let's change this button event. Might be this is linked with the submit button. So let's say this is submit btn like that. Let's change this to the filled key as well. Save it. Go to submit trigger. So no change here. Let's do one thing. Let's run this one more time. Let's enter here name. Click submit. Okay. Now you can see here once we click submit, it says that hello Manish, welcome back to UiPath Form tutorial series. If I say hello Manish Pandey, so it will say hello Manish Pandey, welcome back to UiPath Form tutorial series. Right? So it's working fine. Close this form. Now we will take third example. Let me take another form and this is for total calculated amount. So I will say calculated amount form. Let's create it. And this time I will take here one number. This is for price, field key price. This is number. Now price can be decimal. So we'll set two places decimal and require decimal. Save it. Now we'll take one more number component for quantity. And quantity I say this should not be in decimal. So I can take it. I should not enter anything here. So this will be integer. Now once I click on submit, so this is for, let me change this name. This is calculate total, right? Go to field key. This is calculate. Okay. And this is again action as a event. Now save it. Now let's create one trigger here for this calculate total trigger. You can do it like underscore calculate total underscore trigger like that. Okay. Now here we need to take the same this type of things like we'll take get form values and run form scripts. Okay, so this get form will take value from the form fields whatever user enters. Price will be decimal, so system.double. I can create a variable with price and this is double. Now for quantity I can set it to integer and create variable with quantity. So we'll store these data here in these two variables. Save it. Okay, integer and double. Now we will select this form, calculate amount form. Now here let's remove these text. Now we will write here total, I say message like total calculated amount is and then colon, and after that I want that calculated amount to display here. So I will say after this double quotes plus plus, and this will be I can say price. So price is the variable multiply quantity. Now it will display this in the alert pop-up. Now why we are getting this error? Because conversion is not allowed from double to string, because here we need to convert this to the string. So we'll write here convert dot to string, open and close bracket, this way. Let's save it, go to main. Now change this form from welcome user to calculate amount form, and now let's run this. Okay, so let's enter here price as a 50 and quantity as a 2. So here we selected as a required decimal and two decimal places. That's why two decimal places added here with 00, and quantity is integer. That's why we can enter only integer number. Once you click on calculate total, it gives you this value. So 50 multiplied 2, so 100. If you change this to 50.45, so it will say 100.9. So that's it for today's video. We have successfully used the run form script activity to execute JavaScript code in UiPath form. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.